Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes,
Mataji, shall we do prayers first?
yes.
Om Ajnanaतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुदातान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरोभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण माता जी, थैंक यू।
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओके, एंड जय जय श्री चैतन्य, जय नित्यानंद, जय अद्वैत चंद्र, जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय जय श्री चैतन्य, जय नित्यानंद, जय अद्वैत चंद्र, जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय जय श्री चैतन्य, जय नित्यानंद, जय अद्वैत चंद्र, जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण dear devotees, welcome back to our weekly Chaitanya Charitamrita session. So we will be continuing from, I will share my screen quickly. We will be continuing from the third chapter of the Antya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the third chapter is entitled Glories of Srila Haridas Thakur. So once Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks Haridas Thakur that how the human beings by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra get delivered. But how will the plants, the very small living entities, all the living entities and the non-living entities and the trees, how can they be delivered? So, this whole discussion is about the glories of holy name. How the holy name, even when it is chanted apparently improperly, or even when it is chanted unconsciously, even when a portion of it is chanted, or even just out of uh, uh, out of absolutely no devotion it is chanted, and then what are the benefits of the holy name, and what to speak when it is chanted with complete absorption, love, and appreciation, and understanding the glories of the holy name, as well as the compassion of the Supreme Lord and the devotees. So when that understanding, when we chant the holy names, what are its benefits? So this entire chapter is actually, at least the section which we are going to read today, is focusing on the glories of holy name. So Haridas Thakur says that the devotees chant Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. But when the non-devotees, even the Yavanas, when they chant Ha Rama, Ha Rama, Ha Rama means kill, kill. Ha Rama means like killing, it is that word. But Ha Rama, just that the word Rama is included in that, still they'll be delivered. So that is the potency of the holy name. That is, we are chanting in a very bad way, but in that bad word there is inclusion of Lord's name. Then also the chanter will get the benefit of it. So that is the potency of the holy name, because the holy name is non-different from the Supreme Lord Krishna. So we are at 354. Devotees raise your hand. Swati Mataji, 354.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Hare Krishna.
महाप्रेमे भक्ता काहे हा राम यावनेरा भाग्य देखा लाई से नामा. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A devotee is advanced ecstatic love exclaims, "Oh my Lord Ramachandra, oh my Lord Ramachandra." But the Yavanas also chant, Ha Rama, just see their good fortune. Shall I read purport,
Yes,
Mataji?
yes, yes.
If a purport, if a child touches fire, the fire will burn him. And if an elderly man touches fire, it will burn him also. Haridas Thakur says that a great devotee of the Lord exclaims, Ha Rama. But although Yavanas do not know the transcendental meaning of Ha Rama, they say those words in the course of their ordinary life. For the Yavanas, the word Ha Rama means abominable, whereas the devotee exclaims the word Harama in ecstatic love. Nevertheless, because the words Harama are the spiritual summum bonum, the fact is the same, whether they are uttered by Yavanas or by great devotees. Just as fire is the same both for a child and for an elderly man. In other words, the holy name of the Lord, Ha Rama, always acts even when the holy name is chanted without reference to the Supreme Lord. Yavanas utter the holy name in a different attitude than devotees. But the holy name Ha Rama is so powerful spiritually that it acts anywhere, whether one knows it or not. It is explained as follows. Hare Krishna
So
Mataji.
very
Thank you.
beautifully, Prabhupada has given the example of a child burning his finger. Knowingly, unknowingly, when a hand is put into the fire, it gets burned. Similarly, the Yavanas, out of a wrong attitude, harama, harama means very bad word it is. Kill or very bad, like a very bad word actually. Harama, harama. But still, the name of Rama is included in that. And when the devotees are chanting, Hey Rama, out of ecstasy, and they are chanting Harama, still the word Rama they are chanting and they get the benefit. So this is called as Agyata Sukriti. Sometimes even in our lives also we don't know what kind of a background we are and how we came to devotional service. Somewhere here, there. Like this we have collected some kind of Sukriti and by the association of devotees and by the compassion of the Supreme Lord and by the Acharyas, we have got into this process. We have been introduced to this extraordinary process of Krishna consciousness by which one can perfect one's life. So these are this because the holy name itself is so potent. So Sudha Mataji,
हरे कृष्ण माता जी धन्यवाद.
Hare Krishna.
यद्यपि अन्त्यसंकेते अन्यहय नाम भास तथापि न मेरा तेज न हय विनाश. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur, the authority of the on the chanting of the holy name, said, the chanting of the Lord's holy name to indicate something other than the Lord is an instance of nama abhasa. Even when the holy name is chanted in this way, its transcendental power is not destroyed. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
So
Krishna.
when we get into the Acharya's explanation of Bhaktivinoda Thakur like that, so there is there are books and there is a deep study about the chanting, and there are the different stages of chanting. Nama Parad is there, the Nama Bhas is there, and Shuddhanam is there. Only Shuddhanam when we it's a transcendental position. Shuddhanam means whenever we chant the holy name of Nam, we get a tickle in a core of our heart. Immediately the joy, the ecstasy is felt and it is externally also exhibited. And internally also we are overwhelmed with that kind of happiness. So that is called a Shuddhanama. But until we are chanting Shuddhanama, generally what we end up chanting is Nama Abhas. Abhas means like the Shuddhanama. It is not apparently the actual Shuddhanama. We are chanting, but our consciousness is not deeply drowned into the holy name. So the point what has been told here is still we are chanting and still we are able to continue chanting means we are getting the benefit of that chanting. Otherwise, if we are chanting only Namabhas and it has no benefit, then it was not possible for us to sustain in this process of devotional service. The fact that we are sustaining means whatever chanting we are doing, even though it is in a Namabhasa stage, still it carries weightage. It has a transcendental power. So what it has been told is, so when the Yavanas, Harama, Harama, when they're telling, although it may be in a Namabhasa stage where they are, it is not a Shuddha Nama they are chanting, nonetheless, they are able to get the transcendental benefit of Umadevi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Damshti damstrahato mlecho harameti punah punaha ukva vapi muktim apnoti kim puna sashadhaya granan. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Even a mlecha who is being killed by the tusk of a boar and who cries in distress again and again, Harama, Harama, attains liberation. What then to speak of those who chant the holy name with veneration and faith? Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This refers to an instance in which a meat eater being killed by a boar uttered the words Harama, Harama again and again at the time of his death. Since this is a quotation from the Nrsimha Purana, this indicates that in the Puranic age there must also have been Mlechas and Yavanas, meat eaters, and the word Harama meaning condemned were also uttered in those days. Thus, Haridas Thakura gives evidence that even a meat eater who condemns something by uttering the words Ha Rama gets the benefit of chanting the holy name that the devotee chants to mean, O my Lord Rama. Hare Krishna
That is the
Mataji.
potency. We have also known the how about Rajamila also, how he had named at the age of 88 he had a very small son, and he had named his son's name as Narayana, and then he was on his deathbed, and the Yamadutas come, and at the same time Yamadutas come, and at that time, because he was on his deathbed, out of misery he was calling Narayana Narayana like that, and out of he saw the Yamadutas, he was very scared like that. Narayana, he was calling apparently out of affection to his son. But nonetheless, when he chanted the name Narayana, it was considered he's chanting the holy names. So immediately the Vishnu Dutas also come to rescue him. So we know that how at the time Antakali Chamamima Smaran Muktva Kalevaram. So the when whatever consciousness we have, however we chant at the time of death, that consciousness we get carried out. So here this is written in Narasimha Purana like that. It has been quoted. So the point is what could be the potency that's there in the translation also. What could be the potency when it is chanted in complete consciousness and faith. Krishnamurti Prabhuji. Can see.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, प्रणाम माता जी। आज अजामिला पुत्रे बोला या बाले नारायण विष्णु दूता आसे चादया सहारा बंधना। ट्रांसलेशन by श्री भक्ति वेदांत प्रभुपाद की जय। Ajamila was a great sinner during his life, but at the time of death, he accidentally called for his youngest son, whose name was Narayana, and the attendants of Lord Vishnu came to relieve him from the bonds of Yamaraja, the superintendent of death. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Just now we mentioned about it, and Prabhupada has given it is Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions that how even Ajamila, he was chanting his son's name apparently, but because it was the name of Narayana, then the Vishnu has come for his rescue. Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranams Mataji. Ramadui aksharai ha nahe vyavahita prema vachi ha shabda tahate bhushita. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word Rama consists of the two syllables Ra and Ma. These are unseparated and are decorated with the loving word Ha, meaning O. Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama means Hey Rama, Hare Rama means we are calling out for the Supreme Lord for mercy. So that is like a sambhodhana, like calling out. The devotees, please raise your hands. Yes, Sudha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। ना मेरा अक्षर सबेरा यही था स्वभाव व्यवहित हले न चाड़े आपन प्रभाव। Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The letters of the holy name have so much spiritual potency that they act even when uttered improperly. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that the word Yavagita, improperly uttered, is not used here to refer to the mundane vibration of the letters of the alphabet. Such negligent utterance for the sense gratification of materialistic persons is not a vibration of transcendental sound. Utterance of the holy name while one engages in sense gratification is an impediment on the path toward achieving ecstatic love for Krishna. On the other hand, if one who is eager for devotional service utters the holy name even partially or improperly, the holy name, which is identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exhibits its spiritual potency because of that person's offenseless utterance. Thus, one is relieved from all unwanted practices and one gradually awakens his dormant love for Krishna. Thank you,
See,
Mataji.
now, although we get benefit by chanting unknowingly, unconsciously, in a not in a devotional mode, nonetheless, it will never give ecstatic love for Lord. To get the ecstatic love for Lord, one has to chant in sincerely. Even though, like, he has the mood of devotional service, even though he may not be apparently properly pronouncing. Like sometimes they said the Chinese devotee, somebody was telling, Hey Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, kr is very difficult for some regions of the world. That kr word doesn't come in their tongue. The Krishna, Krishna it becomes. But nonetheless, because of their consciousness, because of their sincerity, it is completely considered as a pure Shuddha and their dormant love for Krishna is awakened. It is it is a known fact that in the heart of everybody we have love for Krishna, and because of not accessing it, because of not using it, not uh, tapping it, it has become dormant, like a dormant account. And when we chant the holy names, when we Shuddhanam, when we try to chant at least, that dormant Krishna consciousness within the core of our heart awakens. And slowly, slowly, it gives that actual real bliss of what is called as Krishna. Very, very small, 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 small dosage of bliss we get. And because of that small dosage, we are able to sustain in this process. And when we put our consciousness in that chanting, with the mood and with the thought to actually serve and always be engaged in the devotional service to the Lord, then it really grows into a tree of devotional service, or the entire love for, actually we can feel the love for Lord. But otherwise, nonetheless, when we're trying in our sadhana bhakti stage, still Lord is very merciful. The Vaishnavas are very merciful. The parampara is very merciful. That still we get that small, small dosage of bliss of Krishna consciousness. Swati Mataji. If you find it difficult, you can just read the translation.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada PJ. If a devotee once utters the holy name of the Lord, or if it penetrates his mind or enters his ear, which is the channel of oral reception, the holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated properly or improperly, with correct or incorrect grammar, or properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. O Brahmana, the potency of the holy name is therefore certainly great. However, if one uses the vibration of the holy name for the benefit of material body, for material wealth and followers, or under the influence of greed or atheism, in other words, if one utters the name with offenses, such chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Purport, Mataji?
Yes.
Purport. These words from the Padma Purana is included in Haribhakta Vilasa 11.289 by Sanatana Goswami. There is Srila Sanatana Goswami gives the following explanation.
You can read the word, English word.
Okay, ma'am. This means that if one somehow or other hears, utters, or remembers the holy name, or if it catches his mind while coming near his ears, that holy name, even if vibrated in separate words, will act. An example of such separation is given as follows.
English.
Suppose one is using the words halam riktam. Now the syllable ha is in the word halam and the syllable re is riktam are separately pronounced. But nevertheless, the holy name will act because one somehow or other utters the word Hari. Similarly, in the word Raja Mahisi, the syllables Ra and Ma appear in two separate words, but because they somehow or other appear together, the holy name Rama will act provided there are no offenses. The holy name has so much spiritual potency that it can deliver one from the sinful reactions and material entanglements. But utterance of holy name will not be very soon fruitful if done to facilitate sinning. The holy name is so powerful that it must act, but when one utters the holy name with offenses, its action will be delayed, not immediate. Although in favorable circumstances, the holy name of Lord acts very quickly. Hare Krishna
So
Mataji.
hereby it is very clearly told that the holy name is very potent. Immediately it has the power to cleanse our consciousness immediately and eradicate all sins which we have done and will be doing. The problem what happens is when we are chanting, it should be an offenseless chanting. In the Padma Purana Prabhupada, in his morning program, he has told the 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy name. So the 10 offenses, we may say that no, I'm not doing this, I'm not avoiding all the 10 offenses. But in the core of the heart, we should be very clear to check whether we are avoiding those offenses. It's only because of those offenses in a very lighter or greater degree we are not able to relish 100% ecstasy of the chanting of the holy names. Nonetheless, because we are chanting we are trying to chant offenselessly and we are trying to be sincere on this path, we are able to sustain the process of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, the fact that we are able to continue in this path means that the holy name is showing its effect. Otherwise, the world is very dirty. It is very terrible, actually. Once we step out, once we just talk to whoever our non-devotee associates are there, it is such a crazy thing that immediately after, if we are talking for like 2 hours, when we come back, we totally forget about the Krishna consciousness, what we wanted to, what were our plans, what did we want to learn, what did we want to do, or how everything, consciousness gets so much polluted actually. But because sincerely we are trying hard, still we are able to continue. If it would have not shown its potency, we would not be able to carry on for long. Although it is told that we have just one lifetime. For us, one lifetime in that like 40, 50, 60, 70 years, in that one day, every single day, in that 24 hours, every hour, it's very difficult. We feel it's a very long journey. We have been chanting for so many years, and nothing is happening. Still, my husband is like this, my children are like that, my sister, mother, sister, neighbors, nobody. So we feel that kind of a disappointment. We feel that it is a just dragging life. But when we compare to the eternal life, we are actually moving faster. And just the fact that we are able to still continue, have faith, and going on means that the holy name is showing its effect. Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Namabhasa Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Namabhasa ite aya sarva papakshaya. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Namacharya Haridasa Thakur continued. If one offenselessly utters the holy name, even imperfectly, one can be freed from all the results of sinful life. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Just that he should not commit the sins again. Uma Devi Mataji. Swati Mataji finished, na? Uma Devi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी
Yeah.
तं निरुव्यजं भजा गुणनिधे पावनं पावनानं श्रद्धा रज्यन् मतिरतितरम् उत्तमं श्लोकमौलिं प्रोद्यान् अन्तःकरणा कुहरे अन्तर्यानाम बहुनार् अभसो
Abhasopi. Hare Krishna. You have muted yourself.
By Divine Grace, बात की जाए.
Who is reading? Who is reading?
Of all purified, worshipped by choice poetry. Worship him with a faithful, unflinching mind, without duplicity, and in a highly elevated manner. Thus worship the Lord, whose name is like the sun, for just as a slight appearance of the sun dissipates the darkness of night, so a slight appearance of the holy name of Krishna can drive away all the darkness of ignorance that arises in the heart due to greatly sinful activities performed in previous lives. Purport. This verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.1.103. Hare Krishna
So we should
Mataji.
very clearly understand. We should hear the glories of the holy name. We should hear continuously, understand with complete faith. We should understand this is the potency of the holy name. We cannot think that I am chanting, this is happening, that means my sins are all gone. I can do whatever I want. Or does it mean that no, with complete faith and complete absorption, when we completely understand its glories, with the 100% faith, and in that mood sincerely we chant the holy names, we get the complete benefit of chanting of the holy names. So anyways, 4 8 12 16 rounds, whatever we are chanting every day, some amount of time we are investing from the, we have many other things to do also, but we consciously invest some fixed time for this process. And during that time, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever time we are investing, in that time we are thinking of something else and not giving 100% for the holy names, then we are actually foolish. Actually, we are neither doing the work, nor whatever we are doing, we are not doing it properly. But if we chant consciously, that whatever time we have allotted for ourselves for chanting of the holy name, if we chant in complete absorption, it really eventually, day by day, by years to months and years to come, we'll find a deep impact on the core of our heart, and we really feel that what we are and what we are now, how clarity we have got in our mind, how we are able to so much of understanding comes. So much of understanding comes when we are talking with devotees, when we are looking at the Lord, when we are hearing the scriptures, when we are, what kind of absorption we have and what kind of inclinations we have. It gives so much of change in the core of our heart. But the main thing is, offenselessly, as far as possible, we should try to chant the holy names sincere. Devotees, please raise your hands.
Hare Krishna, what is Nama Bhasa?
Padmavati, yes.
What is Nama Bhasa?
Can't hear her.
What is Nama Bhasa? Nama Bhasa. Audible, Mataji?
Very low, very feeble it is. Can't hear.
No, talking is very loud. 1 minute.
Now a little better when you spoke.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the meaning of Nama Bhasa?
Now was Nama Abhasa, like it's not actual the purity. Nama Abhasa means we are not chanting pure sound. It is like Nama Abhasa. Means we are chanting only, but that potency is not fully, because we have so many other things happening in our mind. Na? So it is not Shuddha.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mataji.
No, I thought you wanted to read. Okay, you can read also.
No, I wanted to understand it.
Okay, 363. Namabhasahitahaya samsare rakshaya. Even a faint light from the holy name of the Lord can eradicate all the reactions of sinful life. Yes, Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam. Nama abhasa haite haya samsarena kshaya. Even a faint.
That is over. Next one.
Okay, Mata. Okay. Hare Krishna. Mriyamano hare nama vranan putro pacharitam ajamilo apyaka agadhama kim uta shraddhaya gunan. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Mataji's screen is not very seen.
1 second.
Yeah, translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. While dying, Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord, intending to call his son Narayana. Nevertheless, he attained the spiritual world. What then to speak of those who chant the holy name with faith and reverence? Prophet, this is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 6.4.49. Thank you.
No, now Krishnamurti Prabhuji has raised your hand, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, because here properly I'm not able to see. Yes, Prabhuji, you can read.
Now, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
नाम भाषे मुक्तिहाय सर्वशास्त्र धेकी श्री भगवते ताते अजामिला साक्षी. Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada. Because of even the faintest rays of the effulgence of the Lord's holy name, one can attain liberation. We can see this in all the revealed scriptures. The evidence appears in the story of Ajamila in Srimad Bhagavatam.
So
Hare Krishna.
wherever there is a mention of Ajamila chanting the holy names, where various Puranas and texts, all that Krishnaraj Goviraj Goswami has put here to increase the faith of the people and emphasis on the or emphasis on the chanting of the holy name. So Ajamila's name from various scriptures are coming again and again. Chandana.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। शून्य प्रभुर सुखा बढ़ाए अंतरे पुनरपि भंगी करी पूछाए तनरे. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this from Haridas Thakura, the happiness within his heart increased, but as a matter of course, he still inquired further.
So now Haridas Thakur and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conversing, and Mahaprabhu had asked Haridas Thakur that how everybody how will they get delivered? And for that reference about this Harama came. And then Kaviraj Goswami pointed out from various scriptures and Puranas how indeed that is what it is. And then again Mahaprabhu was very happy by the answer and is continuing to ask Haridas Thakur. Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, can you scroll?
Yeah, I'm scrolling. Yeah. Yes.
पृथिवी ते बहुजीव स्थावर जंगम इह सबर की प्रकारे हाई बेमोचना. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On this earth there are many living entities. The Lord says, some moving and some not moving. What will happen to the trees, plants, insects, and other living entities? How will they be delivered from material bondage? Hare
So
Krishna.
now he is talking about this actual trees, plants, insects, others. How will they be delivered? Like that he is asking. Yes, Uma Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Stava Rajangama Age Kariyacha Nista. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haridasa Thakura replied, My dear Lord, the deliverance of all moving and non-moving living entities takes place only by your mercy. You have already granted this mercy
And delivered them. There is some break in your voice actually. The thing is, Haridas Thakur is saying, everything happens by your mercy, Lord. Now you have thought that the living entities, the non-moving entities, the non-living entities have to be delivered, means they have already delivered. So that way it says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so it is told that once when we were going, we had a South India Yatra. So then one senior devotee was telling the fact that Mahaprabhu has come here and he has seen this, because if you go to the Hampi area and all, the huge rocks are there. So they are there since 500,000 years only. They have different big rocks. They are positioned in very unique ways. We feel that although they may fall, but the way they are on that mountain peaks, we have seen that. So when Mahaprabhu had come also, those were there. So they were telling that you look at those rocks, because Mahaprabhu has seen those rocks. So there's so much of potency is there. So when we look at those rocks also, we will get those potencies. So that is the power of Lord Chaitanya, because he's none other than Lord Krishna. So now Haridas Thakur is telling that the fact that you have mentioned and you have thought about them, they are already delivered. Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. तुम्ही करियाचे ऊंचा संकीर्तन सावर जंग मेरा से पयता श्रवण. Translation by Sri Prabhupada teacher. You have loudly chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, and everyone moving or non-moving has benefited by hearing it. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So it is told that we should chant. So when we go for this Nagar Kirtan, when we go, we may not get so much of a response. We may not see that the devotees from different houses come running and they join our Kirtan. All that may not happen. Nonetheless, the holy names enter their ears. And that also brings them so much of Sukriti. That holy names just enter into the, because we are doing it on the loud Kirtan, we are doing on the road, and either they are seeing, some are appreciating, some are little joining, some are doing some donation, some are some buying some book. Nonetheless, if they're just doing their work only without even considering the holy name, still that holy name enters their ears and it purifies their consciousness to some degree or the other. So it is so important as devotees who have complete faith to make sure that with some way, directly or indirectly, we're able to share this compassion with others also. Padma Mataji, Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shuniya janga mera haya samsara kaya savare se shabda lage pratidhwani haya. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada teacher. My Lord, the moving entities who have heard your loud Sankirtana have already been delivered from bondage to the material world, and after the non-moving living entities like trees hear it, there is an echo. And
So he says how living entities and non-living entities are being delivered. Krishnamurti Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
प्रतिध्वनि नाहे से ये कर ये कीर्तना तोमर कृपा ये एकांत्य कथना. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Actually, however, it is not an echo. It is the kirtana of the non-moving living entities. All this, although inconceivable, is possible by your mercy. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So sometimes what happens, if we go to the dark, if we go to some thickly like forest kind of area, and there if we loudly chant, no, we hear back, we hear the echo. So he says it sounds like echo, but they are actually chanting because that happens by your mercy. Like that, Haridas Thakur glorifies the holy name and supreme love. Chandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. सकल जगते हया उच्च संकीर्तना शुनिया प्रेमावेशेनाचे स्थावर जंगमा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada teacher. When loud chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is performed all over the world by those who follow in your footsteps, all living entities, moving and non-moving, dance in ecstatic devotional love. Thank you so much.
Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yaiche Kaila Jharikande Vrindavana Yaite Balabhadra Bhattacharya Kahiyachena Amate. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, all the incidents that took place while you were going to Vrindavana through the forest known as Jarikanda have been related to me by your servant Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Hare Krishna.
So we know this, that when Mahaprabhu had taken the Jarikanda pathway while traveling to Vrindavana, his servant was Balabhadra Bhattacharya. And in the Jarikanda forest, we had so many animals. We had the monkeys, we had the lions, we had the tigers, the peacocks, the deers. And Mahaprabhu loudly was chanting the Sankirtana, was performing the Sankirtana. And at that time, at one point, the tigers were raising their paws, the legs, front paws, and they were also chanting with the Lord. We would have seen the pictures also. where Mahaprabhu is in the Jharikanda forest and we see the tigers, lions, everybody is chanting with Mahaprabhu. And the most interesting thing was the deers and the tigers became friends. Because when it comes to love of God, no, there is no question of enmity anymore. So we see in the Jharikanda forest, actually this all happened, and Balabhadra Bhattacharya was the live witness. And later, when he came back from that Vrindavan Yatra, he tells to the devotees that this is what I actually saw. And today also in Jharikanda forest, there are certain places where the rocks are there, and there we can see the paws of animals on the rocks. It is told that they were in ecstasy, and in that ecstasy the rock also melted. It is still there actually. Devotees have gone and seen. It's in Jharikand forest. It's in Chhattisgarh area. So that is the power of the holy name. Like that Haridas Thakur tells to Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
वासुदेव जीव लागी कैला निवेदन तबे अंगीकार कैला जीवेरा मोचन. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When your devotee Vasudeva Datta submitted his plea at your lotus feet for the deliverance of all living entities, you accepted that request.
So once what happened is Vasudeva Datta was a very close associate of Lord Chaitanya, and he felt so much compassion for the living entities. He says that how much ever trying, so many people are doing so many sins, and in this rate, how will they go back to God? It's not possible. They're not understanding. So Lord, please do me one favor. Let the sins of everybody come to me, and let they all be delivered. Like that, he puts a request. So then that is Haridas Thakur is mentioning to Lord Chaitanya now. Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Jagat
Yes. What happened? I can't hear.
जगत निस्तारित ये अवतार भक्त कैला am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Now Mataji.
Yes, yes,
नगत
Ramesh.
जगत निश्चित ये तुम्हारा अवतार भक्त भाव आगे थे कैला अंगीकारा. Translation बेसी भक्ति वेदांत प्रभुपाद की जय. My dear Lord, you have accepted the form of a devotee just to deliver all the fallen souls of this world. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Uma Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Jagat
नहीं 76.
उच्च संकीर्तन तते करिला प्रचारा स्थिरचर जीवेर सभा कंडैला samsara. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You have preached the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and in this way freed all moving and non-moving living entities from material bondage. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Swati Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी. प्रभु का है सब जीवा मुक्ति आवे पावे यही सब ब्रह्मानंद साबे जीवा शून्य भावे. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared, if all living entities are liberated, the entire universe will be devoid of living beings. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So he says that if everybody is liberated, we'll see the answer next. Swati Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. हरिदास बाले तुम्हारा यावत मृत्य सत्स्थिति तावत स्थावर जंगम सर्व जीव जाति सब मुक्त करी तुम्ही वैकुंठे पथ एव सूक्ष्म जीवे पुनः कर्मे उद्बुद्ध करीभ. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haridasa said, my Lord, as long as you are situated in the material world, you will send to the spiritual sky all the developed moving and non-moving living entities in different species. Then again you will awaken the living entities who are not yet developed and engage them in activities. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So this is a little deep thing. One thing is what Haridas Thakur told. By your loud chanting, you are liberating everybody. So Mahaprabhu says that if everybody gets liberated, everybody will go back to Godhead. Then his world will be vacant. So then Haridas Thakur is telling, see, we know that how the living entities, we means we keep doing karma and we keep dying and again reborn. Janma Mrityu keeps happening regularly, means for all the people. Only very small portion of them are devotees now. So then what happens is during annihilation, they are all in the stabda, that is, they are in a dormant stage. And then when Mahavishnu uh, looks at the dormant, the pradhana, that is in the material world, this is there. And by his glance, he impregnates and all the living entities again come back into action. And how they continue is continuing based on their previous karma, previous desire, what they wanted, what was their desire. Based on that, they'll start getting new lives. That is how Brahma will facilitate that. Based on the living entities, what kind of desires and what kind of karma they had done. That is how the world runs. So then Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur is telling, although a bunch of devotees, a bunch of people get liberated, nonetheless, again the devotees will be those who will awaken the living who are not yet developed and engage them in the activities. So the cycle will keep running. That is what Haridas Thakur tells Mahaprabhu. Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sei jiva habe ihan stavara jangama tahate bhari be brahmanda yena purva sama. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this way, all moving and non-moving living entities will come into existence and the entire universe will be filled as it was previously. Purport also, Mataji?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Purport. While we are preaching, opposing elements sometimes argue, if all living entities were delivered by the Krishna consciousness movement, what would happen then? The universe will be devoid of living entities. In answer to this, we may say that in a prison there are many prisoners, but if one thinks that the prison would be empty if all the prisoners adopted good behavior, he is incorrect. Even if all the prisoners within a jail are freed, other criminals will fit in again. If a person will never be vacant, for there are many prospective criminals who will fill the prison cells, even if the present criminals are freed by the government. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 13.22, Karanam Guna Sangosya Sadasadyoni Janmasu. Because of the living entities' association with material nature, he meets with good and evil among various species. There are many unmanifested living entities covered by the mode of ignorance who will gradually come to the mode of passion. Most of them will become criminals because their fruitive activities and again fill the prisoners. Thank you, Mataji.
Very beautifully, Prabhupada has given with example where nobody can reject it. The prisoners, if somebody says all the prisoners, if they get good habits, if they all get delivered, what like a prison will become emptier? No, definitely prison will get filled again. Because we all get in touch with the modes of material nature. And unfortunately, modes of material nature, when we associate with them and end up doing all the mistakes. So, all the conditioned living entities will be again in this material world, and the cycle never just keeps happening. Actually, Uma Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I will read Mataji.
Who is it? Gandhi
Gandhi.
Mataji. Yes, yes, yes.
पूर्वे येन रघुनाथ सब अयोध्यालाना वैकुंठ के गेला अन्यजीवे अयोध्या बाराना. Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Previously, when Lord Ramachandra left this world, he took with him all the living entities of Ayodhya. Then he filled Ayodhya again with other living entities. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol. Uma Devi Mataji. Uma Devi Mataji is not there. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. अवतारे तुम्ही ऐचे पती याचा हाता केहा ना बुझिते पारे तुम्हारा बूढ़ा नाटा. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, you have set a plan in motion by descending to the material world, but no one can understand you. No one can understand how you are acting. Thank you.
That is very difficult. How actually this world runs, we can have a idea. Exactly, nobody can tell. Uma Devi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। पूर्वे ये न व्रजे कृष्ण करी अवतारा सकल ब्रह्मांड जीवेरा कंदैला संसारा। Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Formerly, when Lord Krishna descended in Vrindavana, he freed all living entities in the universe from material existence in the same way. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Krishnamurti Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Great.
न चैवं विश्वकर्यो भगवती अजय योगेश्वरेश्वर कृष्णे यथा एतत् विमुच्यते। Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada की जय। विमुच्यते एतत् विमुच्यते। Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada की जय। Krishna, the unborn supreme personality of Godhead, master of all masters of mystic power, delivers all living entities, moving and non-moving. Nothing is astonishing in the activities of the Lord. Purport, this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10.29.1. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Oh, Uma Devi Mataji. Mataji, Gandhimati Mataji, you know to raise your hand, no? If you want, you have to raise your hand, okay? Whoever raises your hand, I'll call them. Like that. Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Ayam hi Bhagavan Drishta Kritiha Samsmritasta Desanubhandenepi Akila Sura Suradi Durlabham Phalam Prayachati Kim Uta Samyak Bhakti Matham Iti. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be seen, glorified, or remembered with an attitude of envy, he is nevertheless awards the most confidential liberation, which is rarely achieved by the demigods and demons. What then can be said to those who are already fully engaged in this devotional service to the Lord? Purport: this quotation from the Vishnu Purana
We started
4.15.20.
with this discussion only that when unknowingly, we and unconsciously also somebody chants, then also he gets so much benefit. What is the benefit when who is fully engaged devotional service with complete absorption and sincerity? So all those quotations Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is putting across. Okay, one more last we will read. Swati Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
तैचे तुम्ही नवद्वीपे करी अवतारा सकल ब्रह्मांड जीवेरा करील निस्तारा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By descending as an inner incarnation at Navadvipa, you just like Krishna have already delivered all living entities of the universe. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Padma Mataji, she had raised her hand. We have 1 minute time actually.
Next one, Mataji, 87.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. ये कहे चैतन्य महिमा मोरा गोचर हया से जानू का मोरा पुनः एता निश्चया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One may say that he understands the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He may know whatever he may know, but as far as I am concerned, this is my conclusion. Thank you,
So
Mataji.
what is the
Pranam.
conclusion? Conclusion is like none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And as Krishna had incarnated and delivered the devotees, people of the world, similarly, you have also come in Navadvipa to deliver everybody. So he says that one may understand the glories of Mahaprabhu. I do not know, but this is my conclusion. This is my thought that Haridas Thakur put across this. Thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्री चैतन्य चरितामृता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। वांछा
जय
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च
प्रभुपाद की जय।
कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
अनंत
नमो
कोटि
नमः।
वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
अनंत कोटि
श्रील
वैष्णव
प्रभुपाद
की
की जय।
जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की
हरि
जय।
बोल।
हरि
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, थैंक यू।
माता जी, हरि बोल।
दंडवत।
हरे कृष्ण माता